Magic the Gathering Duels of the Planeswalkers 2013 is a continuation of the series of Magic-based games downloadable through the internet. So the game is pretty much just Magic, but in a video game where you can play against computers. So yeah, if you're a complete shut-in like me, this is the perfect Magic experience! But seriously, for a game based on a card game, what really do you expect? So in this game, you choose between 1 of 10 decks. So you choose a deck and the game begins. The thing with this game that I like is that the decks are generally equal. Each deck has its strengths and weaknesses. No deck can beat every deck, is what you would be thinking when you start this game. But the Krenko deck is on crack and pretty much has all the best goblins in the game. The Jace deck could do well if you were playing against decks which only had lands. If you didn't choose the Ajani deck in Planechase, you're gonna have a bad time. And lastly, the Liliana deck just isn't good. So off the bat, the decks aren't all equal. The main game revolves around this campaign mode where you go up a ladder fighting the other different Planeswalkers and key figures from the 2013 core set. You start off with either the Garruk deck, which has a lot of big creatures, or the Chandra deck, which has a lot of spells that deal damage to the player or creatures. After you've beaten a player, you get their deck. After each victory, you unlock a card from the deck that you played with. The cards you unlock are usually better than the bare basic deck. Once you've unlocked the card, you can add and take away some cards from the deck. The main goal of the campaign is to get up to the main bad guy of the core set in the Magic Universe, Nicol Bolas. Along the way to Nicol Bolas, you'll have encounters, which are decks which have a certain strategy going. Most of them are easy to defeat once you've figured out what they do. Once you get to Nicol Bolas, you're thinking, oh shit, here it is. It's just a shame it takes them 8 turns to actually do something. So in the end, once you beat him, you're kind of like, you're a little disappointed. But then the game's like, oh, I know you're disappointed, man. Here's revenge mode, which is basically the same as campaign, except their decks use some of the unlockable cards. The decks you play against are better than before because of this, and then there's these puzzles you can do. Really, it's just a Simon Says kind of game where you have to dig yourself out of a hole that really like if you see these situations, it's like, how did this happen? As mentioned before, this game has the format Planechase added to it. This is preferably a 4-player match, where there's a 5th deck of these large cards which represent planes in the center of the field. Each plane has a different ability, and they're all kind of based off old lands and old places and locations in the Magic universe. There's a die which you can roll to either change the plane, cause a chaos effect, or do nothing. The chaos effect differs from plane to plane, but they usually work at the plane. Besides Planechase and campaign, you've got Two-Headed Giant. It's another multiplayer format, but instead of having a free-for-all, 2 players are teamed up with each other and fight against another tag team. Each team starts with 30 life, controls as of 1 player, and do their turns and phases at the same time. As a format, I like it better than Planechase since it's practically just a fancied 1 versus 1 game. Mind you, if the computer's your ally, they're pretty dumb, so either find a friend or play with 2 controllers. And that's that. Thanks for watching. I'll try to get something else out within a week or so.